What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake 72 coming to you guys with a video right now. I want to go over obviously some, the schedule we've already kind of gone over already, but I kind of want to go through just what I'm expecting going into this season. And with the schedule that's pretty much right here in front of our face, I have to go into this saying, you know what, I really don't know what to expect. So all the people that's, say, oh, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, I can't even do that, okay? Because, it's not like Doug's still here and Carson Wentz is still here, and obviously the pieces will kind of make up for what matchups will be in certain games this year. Fact of the matter is, we have a new team right now, new coaching staff, new players, new quarterback. So really at the end of the day, it's hard to be judgmental on this schedule because there are probably games that we could lose that we should easily win. There's no such thing as an easy game when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. There's really not to go into this season. You know what I mean? I think going into this season, it's, this team is going to be a very tough, competitive team. And I think that's where I'm going with it. I pretty much said 7 to 9 wins is where I'd be taking this. To be, I guess, going in the right direction, I guess to be satisfied, which, I think obviously I won't be satisfied at the moment because I want to win the division. I want to get into the playoffs and make some noise to get into a really good rhythm for next year. The number one problem, or not really a problem, but the number one obstacle that we have to get by first on our list going to the season is Jalen Hurts going to be a good quarterback this year? Getting a lot of good vibes from him. And, from all the offseason training he has done, the chemistry he is building with some of these guys, that he didn't get a chance to last year because of COVID, what was going on. And obviously he wasn't the starting quarterback last year. So there's a lot of different moving pieces to this whole entire season that's coming up right now. Okay. I think it's a balanced schedule. I don't mind it. You know what I mean? There are some teams that are building. There's teams that are bad. There's teams that are okay that could surprise you. And there are teams that they're going to be tough games, guys. But never call it an easy game and never call it a game that you can't win either. Because you know what? When this team comes together, hopefully you have some, hopefully you have a very good, resilient group, some resiliency coming into the season, and that's what we need. I think that culture will be built first by Nick Sirianni, then your quarterback, and then obviously it moves on to other players on your roster offensively and defensively for that matter. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, guys, there is a lot of obstacles the Eagles have to get over this year. I want to see what Nick Sirianni does with this offense, how intricate, how different, how adverse this offense is going to be. Defensively, I'm not really a big fan of our defense right now because there's too many unknowns with our defense. At least with the offense, I know that Travis Fulgham can play. Greg Ward has had some short success. John Hightower's had some short success. At least I know that a lot of these guys have started games and played very well for a shorter period of time before veteran leadership took over, and Doug benched a lot of these guys on offense. But when you go to the defense, you have Jonathan Gannon. What kind of system is he going to run? What is he doing with the linebackers? How is he using his safeties this year? I have no idea. We're still a second cornerback gone right now. I mean, we don't even have a second cornerback in the room. It's Darius Slay. It's Avonte Maddox. That's not really promising on the outside. That's really going to be fighting for a job this year. They have no bodies. Even the undrafted free agent list for corners, I don't even think there's one on that list as of right now. Okay, so there's a lot riding on this season. I understand that the season's not going to start for a little bit. We still have time. So I understand they're going to have more bodies at corner. It's going to happen. They have to. They have no choice. Otherwise, you just have Zach McPherson, obviously your fourth-round pick this past season that you drafted, that hopefully shows some good potential. And Jonathan Gannon seems like, he's a very energetic, uplifting coach that's going to get his guys prepared every single week. You look at the defensive line and, Milton Williams at defensive tackle we drafted in the third round. I do like him with his short space speed, explosiveness off the line, really nice. I hope he becomes a starting defensive tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles in the future. And this is only if Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox don't work out. I have no idea what to expect from Fletcher Cox this year. I better see a different man. He's on the wrong side of 30. And 6.5 sacks last year is not good enough. And it's not even about the sacks, guys. I don't see much production from him pressure-wise. He gets double-teamed, and pretty much Fletcher Cox is done. Javon Hargrave, switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3 last year. Okay, you signed him to a 4-year, $39 million deal, and, got hurt, came back, didn't do anything. Then later on, late in the season, he showed up for a couple games, and then he disappeared again. So at this point, I'm looking forward to Josh Sweat making a bigger case for himself this year. Derek Barnett probably just going to walk after this year. At this point, guys, if he has a good season, I don't know what the case is going to be. I have to see how he plays and whatever. But making $10 million, which is kind of ridiculous. They should have at least extended his contract. Okay. Offensively, it seems like it's going to be a perfect offense. You never know at this point. Nick Sirianni knows the strength and weaknesses of every player, especially when he looked at his Colts staff, his Colts players from last year, and how he uses everybody. I think Jalen Reagor's going to have a big year. Devontae Smith is the new addition that's going to change the culture, as well as Jalen Hurts is going to gravitate, and Jalen Hurts is going to gravitate all these players towards him, okay, because they want to play for him. Miles Sanders, I think the running back situation is perfect for competition. 8 running backs, and I think your new running backs could be Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, and you could have Kerryon Johnson as your mini bruiser guy. So Jordan Howard could be cut from this team. Boston Scott could be cut from this team, or obviously practice squad if that's the case. But that's why going into this season, I have no answers. You have linebackers that are in competition. You have a lot of linebackers in competition. Don't know if they're even going to sign another one at this point. Cornerback's empty right now. Safety is, Ronnie McLeod seems to be coming back week 1. That is the rumor as of right now. If you haven't seen my last video on him, that's the news that did come out from him, quote unquote, that he'll be ready week 1, which is fantastic. How much is he going to be in training camp? I don't even. He's what, 30, 31, something like that. He's a savvy veteran, so some of these guys don't need the training camp, but I want him to get 100%, so he's ready for week 1 of the season if that's the case. Tight end position, we haven't traded Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert still on the roster. Who are they going to use? Are they going to use their undrafted free agent Jack Stahl from Nebraska, or are they going to go with Hakeem Butler, Caleb Wilson, Jason Kroom? They can go for a lot of other players at that position, which I think they should give it, instead of signing a Richard Rodgers or going out for another free agent, go trust some of these other guys. And I think that's what they're going to do. I really think that's what they're going to do. The offensive line, Jordan Mailata is your left tackle. Andre Dillard should try to at least compete for another job, or try to cross-train to guard or something like that, to kind of have him do something of worth to this offensive line for 2021. As of right now, Jordan Mailata is going to be the left tackle, 6'8", 350 pounds of monstrous heaven. I mean, it made no sense, but you know what I mean. And then you have Landon Dickerson, our second-round pick. Going to learn behind Jason Kelce, and he's already a polished enough. Center already. So learn behind Jason Kelce. Let Jeff Stoutland get his hands on him and work him a little bit. I mean, we might see him in preseason. I don't see why he wouldn't get any playing time in the preseason with some of these preseason games. The 3 preseason games we do have. So look out for that. I love Nate Herbig, can play both guard spots. I do love him a lot. Jack Driscoll could be your future right tackle. I mean, it was kind of amazing last year. We go into the season, Lane Johnson had a little bit of an injury, couldn't play against Washington, and they threw Jack Driscoll in over Matt Pryor, which I thought was pretty interesting. And he actually played pretty well. I have to say, the draft picks for the offensive line have been pretty good the past few years. I got to say, besides Andre Dillard is probably the only one that have, but mostly undrafted guys like Nate Herbig. Like, it seems like we get these aces. Your 7th round pick in Jordan Mailata that even played football, played rugby in Australia. So there's a lot of good things to go with this offense. There really is. And I think our offense is obviously more pro ready than our defense is right now, because our defense, I think this whole defense has to be rebuilt, and I think that's where we're starting to do that right now. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different obstacles this team has to face. That's why I can't say, oh yeah, the Atlanta Falcons, they have no defense. They have an offense, but they have no defense. We could beat them easily. I could easily say that, but at the end of the day, we need to see what Nick Sirianni brings to the table. The only upper hand we have over all these teams we're facing this year is, especially in the NFL, you're coming into this year with a new coaching staff and a new quarterback, okay? So teams have no blueprint on. Obviously, they had blueprints on last year, or Nick Sirianni coming from the Colts last year, but that's far-fetched. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you could look at, because it's a whole different roster than the Colts. So really, the upper hand the Eagles really have is they could start winning some games because of no blueprints of this offense as of right now. And then when Nick Sirianni gets the swing of things, and then you'll see what happens. But I'm very nervous about the cornerbacks position. I'm hoping Zach McPherson becomes a beast. I think he's going to be a solid, could play man, could play zone. I think he's going to be a solid corner, guys. But I'm looking for a Steven Nelson signing. I'm hoping that they at least do something there. If they sign Steven Nelson, we're set at both corner spots. We're good. And then you can have whoever's behind compete, and they'll add more bodies, obviously. So I'm not even worried about that. Okay, and then when you go back to the quarterback position once again, I got to see Jalen Hurts be consistent every week. Stop throwing the football. Stop, he rolls out to the left or the right and throwing across his body. He's been inaccurate and throwing across his body when he's rolling out. That has happened a few times last year. He had a 4-game sample size, but this whole offseason was all about building around Jalen Hurts. It was. After the truth was, and I think the Eagles knew this for a long time, that Carson was going to get traded at some point. Obviously, they just didn't want to say it. It really showed at the Nick Sirianni press conference, I'm not really looking at quarterback right now. It's like quarterback is the most important thing you're looking at. You got Jalen Hurts. You give him a chance this year. If he fails, he fails. He does well, he does well. I don't care. As long as you give him the chance, you give him the shadow of a doubt, you give him the chance, I'll feel comfortable in my mind and my soul that we actually gave him a chance and he will go out and just do his thing. Whether, I'll always hate that pick regardless of what happens down the road. If he wins a couple championships, I'm just saying that just to throw it out there. If he wins another championship for Philadelphia or a championship for Philadelphia, I'm always going to hate that pick regardless. That second-round pick, I will always dislike it. I'll never be a fan of it, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise this whole time. But I'm not getting bad vibes. If Doug was still at the head coach of this team, I'd probably be a little worried right now. But don't want to make this video too long. But like I said, I'm just talking about the schedule in general. You can't say who you're going to win against, lose against. I think we need to look at this team very closely. Watch training camp, watch preseason, and see what we have in this offense. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Shakes Code Up, Files Fly. Peace out, guys. Peace.